Chaos Control Chapter 9, Observation and Infiltration. Eggman hit the console of his Eggmobile in annoyance. Deco and Boko had ended up crossing paths with the Knuckles they already knew in their search for the more Chaos-powered devils. And they had let Knuckles destroy the Chaos Energy Tracker, and now they had no idea where the devils were.
We are sorry, Dr. Eggman. He broke it before we could stop him.
I'll break you!
Eggman turned his attention away from the quivering bots. Thinking about it logically, the doubles had probably met up with Sonic and the rest of his crew, and had teamed up with them. And if that had happened, Eggman's plans of establishing the Eggman Empire could be in jeopardy. This other Knuckles have literally glowed with chaos energy, and the other two were presumably the same. Those egg drones were starting to look really appealing. He looked over them again with the materials he had. He should be able to make a decent amount of them. Their primary function seemed to be surveillance, but they did have a decent weaponry system in them. Their software was extremely basic, with the drones being listed as low sentience. Eggman had been searching the files over and over for some kind of override code. He suspected there would be one. His friend was still extremely suspicious, but he didn't find any, and since they apparently weren't the other Eggman, there was no way they could outsmart him and hide it.
You two, let's go back to the base. We have a project to work on.
When Stone had been practically handed a cover story on a silver platter, he couldn't help but take it and tailor it to its needs. When he had been dragged to this other world, he had been wearing his gun uniform and was able to blend in with the group returning to their base. Gun was his best bet for finding out what was going on and where he was. The blue lightning and blackout meant Sonic was here, and the rest of his family probably was too. They were very close to Stone when the lightning had blinded him. Not that they knew that. He was spying on them after all. The whole family would pay for what they'd done. Yet again, the doctor had gone missing at the hands of Sonic. Stone didn't think he was dead. There had been no sign of a body, and there was no way the brilliant Dr. Robotnik didn't have a backup plan in mind. A simple fall wouldn't kill him. So until the doctor re-emerged from where he was hiding, Stone will work in his stead. Sonic was the main target. Robotnik hates that hedgehog, and everything was his fault. And while Stone disliked the entirety of the Wachowski family and wanted to get revenge on Sonic, a special mention had to go to Knuckles. He was the only one Stone had actually interacted with personally, and during that meeting, the echidna had crushed his arm, caused a mess, and proven himself to have less than stellar intelligence. Now was Stone like him petty? Maybe. But for Robotnik to take on a living lackey that had been the best of the best, Stone was the only living being Robotnik could trust, let alone stand. That was a high compliment from a man who regularly expressed disdain for humanity. But fortunately, Robotnik held no loyalty to the Red Imbecile and had cast him aside when he was no longer useful. Robotnik may have laser focus on Sonic, but Stone saw the potential danger that the little fox possessed. He wasn't quite at Robotnik's level, but the kid definitely had skill. Stone tapped away at the computer in front of him, occasionally flaking his gloved hand. It hadn't taken Stone much to make his presence more credible. Their systems were easily breached. Compared to what he saw while working with the doctor, their technology was incredibly outdated. The computing power that was contained in his glove outclassed almost everything they had here, so changes were easy to make. He had no past here and had to make one up. not existing both credited and discredited him. His initial story of paperwork sucks, and I got the bad end of it, had been taken on board, but Stone wasn't sure how long that would last without making a trial for him.
Agent Stone, sir?
Stone looked up to see an agent from earlier. He didn't really care about the guy. He was another agent simply playing his role. There was someone new with him. She looked just like another face in the crowd.
Ah, hello.
Remaining polite was necessary for his plans.
This is Agent Topaz. She and her partner Agent Rouge will be making sure you know the ropes of your job. If you've been lost in the cracks for as long as you say we need to make sure you're up to date.
Good to meet you, Agent Topaz.
Stone couldn't see anything else about her that was useful yet. She seemed like the average soldier you'd see in Gun.
Good to meet you, sir. Sorry Rouge couldn't be here. She had some personal business to deal with.
She was acting a little bit twitchy. She was hiding something.
That's fine. I just hope everything's alright.
Yes, don't worry about it.
Stone heard a barely audible beep from his communicator. Looks like the other Robotnik had responded.
Hey, I get off in half an hour. Why don't you meet me down in the break room and I'll make you coffee?
Couldn't we just go out and buy some?
Oh, trust me, you're gonna want to try one of his lattes. They're amazing.
Ah, yes, the way to almost everyone's hurt. A good coffee. Probably best to hold back on the steamed Austrian goat's milk for now, though.
Alright then, if you say so.
Great, I'll see you in 30.
Stone waved as they left the room and activated the earpiece he had hacked a connection to the Eggmobile.
Afternoon.
Stone flicked his wrist to type with his gloves.
I've decided to make some prototypes of these drones of yours.
If he had spotted the glove override, he hadn't said anything. It was very well hidden. The software was nearly and brilliantly designed by Dr. Robotnik, after all.
Wonderful news.
There's still something that's been bothering me. What do you plan to do once we have them built?
A reasonable question. Stone currently had two goals: destroy Sonic and the rest of the Wachowski family, bring the chaotic raw flow of humanity to order as by Robotnik's wishes.
Same as you. Destroy the hedgehog. Both of them.
Well, I have to say these are very well designed. Are they yours?
I had a hand in making them.
You are frustratingly vague. Do you know that?
Yes.
I'll go make a couple prototypes. Then you better start talking.
Very well, if that's what you want.
Charmy heard this hiss of machinery and a door open. A grumbling Eggman could be heard getting closer.
Hey, Espio, Eggman's coming!
Espio grabbed Bokun, covered his mouth, and ducked behind a box, the little robot protesting the whole time. Charmy placed his ear to the wall and attempted to listen in. It sounded like Eggman was yelling at Chico and Boko to get to work. Through the clinky noise, it was hard to exactly tell what was being said. Charmy could, however, tell it was something about defeating Sonic with his new robots. Pretty standard stuff. But it did show that Sonic was here to and possibly in need of a warning.
Egghead's making some brand new bots, and he's going to attack Sonic with them.
Nothing unusual there.
Espio shrugged and looked down at Bokun, who had given up on struggling and had instead begun to pout.
What should we do with him?
We don't want him telling Eggman we were here. Let's take him with us.
Bokun's eyes widened and the little bot started to struggle again. Espio kept his grip strong, and the messenger bot struggled was fruitless. Espio nodded and readjusted his hold.
We'll have to find Vector as well. He probably knows things that we don't. We'll need to discuss this with him.
Espio took the lead in sneaking out of the base, being sure to discreetly disable as much Eggman tech along the way. Vector looked over the train station with a keen eye. It was filled with people pushing and arguing about the mess of delays that had been caused by the power outage.
Before we get involved in that mess, we got to make sure we go the right way.
Vector saw that a piece of paper with scheduling information had been half-absently slapped over the regular schedule board.
Everyone look!
Cream and cheese are here.
Vanilla was on the verge of happy relief-filled tears. On the rack of magazines, leaflets, and booklets was a magazine that had a collage of photos of all sorts of people as its cover. One of them was a group photo of some humans along with Cream, Cheese, Amy, Tails, and Sonic.
Stars Holmes, eh? Looks like our pal Sonic really knows how to pick 'em.
Tom grabbed the magazine and flipped to the indicated page.
Christopher Thorndike, son of CEO of Thorndike Industries, Nelson Thorndike, and the famous actress Lindsay Thorndike, opened his home to the otherworldly visitors and given Sonic and his friends a place to stay. Chris continues to aid our heroes in the never-ending fight against the villainous Dr. Eggman.
We know where Cream is now, and if she's with Sonic, Amy, and Tails, that means she's safe.
We should probably head there anyway. It's our best lead to finding our boys.
Vector knew that even if his and the Wachowski boys went to this mansion, it was better than endlessly wandering around hoping to bump into them by dumb luck. Tom's eyes scanned the page a few times.
Find the tour on page 4 through 8.
Tom flipped over to the pages and found a map.
There, that's their address.
Maddie tapped on the magazine. She took it in her hands and started to cross-reference it with the train map and schedule.
The closest station to their house looks like it's in Station Square, and then we'll have to walk the rest of the way.
The four of them looked over to the huge crowd. There were regular trains going back and forth, but with how many people there were, who knows how long it would take to get to Cream.
Oh dear, that crowd is still just as big. This could take ages to get through.
Don't worry, Miss Vanilla. We'll get to Cream in no time. We just gotta play this smart.
Vector looks around the train station. Technically, they could wait, but Tom and Maddie's boys had already caused trouble, and Vector was getting a nagging feeling that his were up to something.
Hang on, I got an idea.
Tom straightened up his clothes and tried to make his stance more professional, and walked up to the ticket desk.
Hi, our friends here need to get to Station Square and meet up with Sonic.
As Tom spoke, the ticket seller looked past him at Vanilla and Vector.
Of course you must be some more of his friends. Come on, I'll get you on board.
Tom had been clearly caught off guard by how easy it was.
Oh wow, thank you so much.
Well, Sonic's done so much for us, the least we can do is help his friends.
The ticket seller led them to the front carriage and let them in.
Not that I'm complaining, but that was surprisingly easy.
Vector had been expecting that they would need an elaborate plan to get themselves on the train, and he was all ready to start one up.
Hey, wait until they hear you guys are Sonic's parents.
Vector's statement earned a laugh from everyone. A few moments later, the doors opened and more people started getting directed in. As they found their seat, most people gave Vector wary but still friendly looks. And once the train was full, it pulled away from the station.